Welcome to the Archive Network. I am Aurelius, and with me as always, Malik. We curate the Lineage archive. Today we open a new file. House of Habsburg. Malik, you've had this one on your desk for a while. In the shadows of medieval forests, power isn't just handed down. It's seized with determination. The first Habsburgs emerged in a world ruled by ambition, where survival meant taking risks. Their story doesn't unfold in grand palaces, but in rough stone, where every day was a battle. This is a narrative of grit and resilience, where fortunes were forged in the fires of conflict. We'll see how they crafted their legacy not through splendor, but through sheer will.
It's striking, Aurelius. You paint a picture of Habsburgs as survivors, but let's not overlook the human cost in their rise. Radbot's ambitions were built on more than stone. They were layered with the sacrifices of those who lived under his rule. Their story isn't just about power. It's about the people caught in their ambitions.
You're right about the context, Malik. Every great dynasty starts with ambition and a fortress, and Habsburg was no exception. It wasn't just a stronghold. It was a declaration of purpose in a time when chaos reigned. We can't overlook how vital it was for empires to establish these bastions. They weren't just about defense. They were symbols of power, marking territory and sending a message to anyone who dared challenge their authority.
But let's not forget, Aurelius. The Habsburg stone fortress was more than just a physical structure. It served as a tool for coercion and control. The people around them weren't merely subjects. They were active participants, often silenced, in a system that marginalized their voices. Building a castle doesn't equate to building a just society. Those walls may have stood tall, but they also kept out the dreams and aspirations of countless individuals longing for a voice in their own lives.
Fair point. Yet, we can't underestimate the chapel's significance within the keep. It wasn't just a place of worship. It stood as a visual marker of legitimacy. In an era when faith influenced governance profoundly, the Habsburgs recognized that showcasing their piety could strengthen their rule. It was a clever maneuver, a way to intertwine their authority with the divine, and to ensure that their subjects viewed them as chosen leaders.
Aurelius, I get where you're coming from, but framing their faith solely as a strategy misses a huge part of the picture. The Habsburgs weren't just wielding religion like a weapon. They truly believed in it. Their faith shaped who they were, how they connected with others, and even their decisions. It's crucial to see how intertwined their beliefs and ambitions were. The lines between faith and strategy weren't just blurred. They were tangled, affecting real lives and communities.
True enough, Malik. They certainly grasped the importance of alliances. Take Radbot's marriage to Ida of Lorraine, for instance. It wasn't about love. It was a calculated move to enhance their power. In a landscape fragmented by rival factions, these strategic connections were not just beneficial, they were vital for survival. We see time and again that rulers must think beyond personal desires. Alliances like this shape the course of history and determine who holds the reins of influence.
Yes. But the marriage was also a reflection of the era's social dynamics. It wasn't just about power. It was about the lives entwined in those decisions. The Habsburgs were leveraging relationships, sure, but at what cost? They were caught in a web of feudal obligations that could easily backfire. Think about the families involved, the individuals whose fates hung on these alliances. It was a complicated dance, one that didn't always end well for those at the bottom.
You raise valid concerns, Malik. As the mid-12th century approaches, we see the Habsburgs evolving significantly. They're not just lords anymore. They're becoming mediators and tax collectors, which is quite a shift. Their influence is definitely on the rise, but with that growth comes a host of challenges. They're navigating a political landscape that's increasingly complex and fraught with rivalries. This will test their resolve and shape their future in ways we can only begin to understand.
And yet, with each conflict and negotiation, The Habsburgs' methods are often ruthlessly calculated. They may have grown in authority, but their rise was marked by the shattered lives of those who dared to stand against them. Every skirmish, every siege, tells a story of loss and sacrifice. It's a heavy price for power, one that often leaves families torn apart and communities in ruins. These battles remind us that ambition can demand a toll we can't ignore.
Absolutely, Malik. The Habsburgs were masters of adaptation and negotiation. With each generation, they honed their strategies, centralizing authority while still honoring their deep-rooted traditions. They had a keen grasp of the intricate balance of power that defined the Holy Roman Empire. Their ability to pivot and respond to shifting dynamics was key. It wasn't just about survival. It was about thriving in a landscape full of challenges. Their resilience truly set them apart in the annals of history.
Resilience is admirable, but it doesn't erase the moral implications of their ascent. As they stand at the precipice of greater ambitions, they are also teetering on the edge of moral ambiguity. Their motto, "It is Austria's destiny to rule the world," may be ambitious, but it also reflects a mindset that could lead to peril.
As the 12th century draws to a close, the Habsburgs stand poised to extend their influence far beyond the borders of Swabia. Their ambitions are alive and well, fueled by the very landscape that has shaped their identity. This period doesn't just set the stage. It's the foundation for a dynasty that will go on to redefine power across Europe. And remember, the shadows of Hawk's Castle are just the beginning of their remarkable journey. We're witnessing the early stirrings of an empire in the making.
That's where we leave it for now. Part 1 of 5, House of Habsburg, is far from done. If you're new here, we're Aurelius and Malik, curators of the Lineage Archive, part of the Archive Network. Part 2 drops soon.